So Evan, Joseph, Lorian and Joseph make a perception roll, please. Joseph, very nice. So you're both on pretty high alert to begin with, and with these high perception rolls, you notice two figures walking very steadily, not limping like the zombies or scampering like these other beasts that you've seen in town. They seem to be other civilized beings, and you can make out the brief image of a half-orc carrying traveler's gear, and a small dark-skinned being scampering about with some fanciful and odd-looking armor. But you need to come closer to actually see what they look like, and of course they'll describe themselves, and vice versa.
Holy fuck! Are there people there that aren't dead?
Well, first, Joseph will fucking throw his rapier. Who goes there?
So, you both see this, you two, Chris and Trigger. You both hear this and see these approaching you.
So I'm gonna draw my weapon.
I'm going to activate my defensive field.
Now, which weapon are you drawing, just out of curiosity?
I'm gonna draw my rapier in one hand, and my lantern of revealing in my offhand. How do I do that in my sheet? I click it,
So
right?
you don't have to actually click anything, as long as you tell me you're good to go. The lantern, we'll say that you're using an oil flask for that. That is not in your character sheet already, so I won't make you remove an oil flask. Well, I'm saying you don't have to remove an oil flask. I'm saying let's say you already have it lit, because it is like kind of it's dusk. It's dusk right now. It's about 9 p.m. If you had to estimate.
I'm also going to step
cover from
to Fred.
So I'd like each of you to roll a perception roll. So on your character sheet, all you do is push the perception button, the word that says perception.
Whereabouts is that on the...
It should be on your list of skills. If you just click the perception word, it will calculate it for you, which is so awesome. I love Roll20.
Rolled a 19.
Okay, so 19. Okay, yeah, real dice is fine. So first I'll have Lorian describe yourself, because you're front and center, and then Joseph, describe yourself.
Okay, I am a very androgynous, pretty willowy high elf with white hair, wearing a fancy tabard with acorns on it, and, wizardy robes, but they're all sort of tattered, have like burn holes on them and slash marks. and I'm not looking so great. There's a look in my eyes that are it's the look of a woman on the edge of losing her shit.
Joseph, describe yourself.
You can excuse me.
Nice.
Constitution saving throw right there.
Nailed it.
Hold on, let's fucking hell, hold on, where the fucking am I?
He's getting the nervous giggles, guys. Let him giggle it out.
Fuck you.
That doesn't help.
Describe yourself, dude. Come on.
Shut up. Okay, so you see a man in his late 20s. Bowler cap. If you just look at my fucking picture, basically bowler cap, fancy clothes, vest, tie, dress shirt, leather gloves, overcoat, dress pants, dress boots, an eye patch on his left eye, and his clothes are a bit blood-stained, and his sleeve is torn, and yeah, he is currently pointing a rapier in your general direction.
All right, one moment here while I just load something. So you also see standing behind him a human wearing military armor, standing tall and at the ready. You see what you think to be... So Tom's character, Jinyo, just sees a human wearing robes, but the gnome here, Chris's character, has a very, very keen eye for all that is arcane and all that is illusion. And he believes that this man, this human wearing wizard's clothes and things like that, maybe somehow concealing his true image. The woman to his right appears to be having a missing arm. Her left arm has an iron prosthetic, and she stands at the ready wearing leather armor and a short sword. Standing here, you see a man of rather tall stature, about 6'3", and he's standing with his bow ready. His face is concealed. And you see a wood elf here also with a bow ready to go, and you see that he's murmuring incantations to himself. And to his right is a half-orc wearing special mariner's armor. You both recognize the armor as mariner's armor, which is a seafaring armor. And just next to him, so many people, you see a very tall half-orc man wearing a very unique, actually, Fred, I believe the name is of the gnome. You see a very, very unique set of dragon scale mail armor on this half-elf.
Half-elf, yeah. You said half-orc, I think.
Half-elf, sorry, half-elf, yeah. The armor is markedly unique, and if I'm not mistaken, I think it was made from red dragon scale mail. So, those are the individuals you see before you, and you do hear horses neighing behind them. Everyone's at the ready, but everyone's on guard.
Have you seen us?
They have. Lorian and Joseph brought it to everyone's attention. They're all on very high alert right now. They're in a dangerous place, so they're all ready. But no one's attacking. Everyone's just at the ready and curious.
On the other side of the door?
How much
can
I see through the door?
So you can see, so these walls are actually, I forgot to mention, are somewhat broken down. This house is in ruins. You can see all of them. The only thing that you didn't really perceive is that this person here may be under some illusion magic.
So I have line of sight on the half orc, right?
You do, and this is the armor that the half orc is wearing. Except he has his helmet off at the moment because he was just resting.
Cool.
Yeah, it's.
Do you have
cool.
half orc or half elf?
Half elf. I apologize. Half elf.
Just need to know which one.
And you see him slipping his helmet on right now with ease.
Yeah, the half elf is wearing that armor. The half orc is not. The half orc is wearing Mercy's armor.
Correct.
Can I, as I can see the half orc there, can I try and speak to him in orc?
Sure.
Well, do you want us to explain what we look like first, so you get?
I want to see.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Please do. Please do. Chris, you go first.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Right. Well, you see a very short, light gray-skinned creature. It's a gnome with very long pointy ears that are even folded over in two different directions, and he's wearing a very interesting looking armor. Attached all over the armor are a bunch of different contraptions and just stuff that doesn't look like they belong there. A cog here and there, and pieces of stuff that shouldn't be there.
He's a steampunk cosplayer.
Yeah, a little bit. A very poorly made steampunk cosplay.
Just slap some glues on it and call it steampunk. There's a song.
Yeah. As you're watching him, suddenly, like almost a field appears around him. Like his armor puffs up a little bit in the middle of it, and you see his helmet suddenly just appear and attach all over his head. You can no longer see his face. You can only see two ears sticking out the side of it.
Right,
Standing there, nothing in his hand, but his fist ready.
Huh. Interesting. And Trigger.
You see half orc underneath his hood. You can make out the sort of similar. You've seen this before in cities, maybe like slaves have it, sort of drawn back ponytail. Used to be dragged around by orcs. You can see on his arms that he's got sigils that look demeaning and are in demeaning places. And he stands there quietly with his rapier drawn and lowered, not in an aggressive stance.
Right, and so now you were going to try to talk to the other half-orc?
Yeah, I'm going to try and speak to the other half-orc.
What?
So, can I say, in Orcish, are these people friendly?
says, "From where do you hail?"
I hail from nowhere anymore. I come from the Orklands. I'm guessing like you do.
I'm not from the Orklands. I am from Gryhold, and we are peaceful people.
And how are you accepted by these people that you're with here?
They fight by my side, as we have several times already. Does anybody else do anything while you? Does anybody else understand Orcish that's present at the moment?
I don't speak
I
Orcish.
feel like I should understand it. Like I'm allowed to pick a language I haven't really picked yet.
Oh, yeah. Is your character sheet not done
Makes
yet?
sense. There was some details I missed.
There's a few things I just didn't have time to get to help him with.
Okay.
You can
But I feel like I
choose
should know that. Like I'm allowed to choose with my background. I'm allowed to choose a language.
as a well, I don't want to say what race you are. Well, what sub-race you are, but how many languages can you know with that race? Just fill it in now. Just go ahead and do that.
I mean,
on the
with my
side.
background, I get a new language as well.
Okay, so if Orc is one of them, then you do understand what's happening right now. So yeah, is everyone standing here? Does everyone else want to do anything? Because there's a few volley of conversation in Orc there. Or is everyone just going to keep in place? Sid?
I'm
you do
gonna
anything?
look at the.
Joseph will just like look between. Oh my god, what was his name?
Vivel and
Vivel
this
and,
other person.
This other person, like, huh? What's going on? Still, like, keeping his rapier up in a defensive stance.
I'm standing there. I've got nothing raised threateningly at all. My arms are just limp at my sides, and I look at the gnome and I say, "What the fuck are you two doing here?"
So Vivel has a war pick that he was holding, and he places it back on his belt in a peaceful manner. And he says in common, sorry?
Is that
the orc? Yeah, the half orc. Yeah, he places the war pick. Oh, Mira, that's you. He places the war pick back on his belt, and he says in common aloud to his companions, "These are peaceful travelers." And he says, addressing the two of you, "But I would like to hear your purpose here in Northold."
I'm going to reply again in Orcish.
Okay.
And I'm going to say I'm here to try and regain some honor so I can finally be accepted by this tribe that took me in the Orklands before I was sent up here.
You see him looking over your sigils, and he appears to make an insight roll. Actually, Trigger. It'll be another skill button and the same skill tree there.
Okay, so that's not got a blue tick next to it. That's fine. I'll just click it here.
Ooh, 20. So, one half orc to another, you see that he is recognizing your origins. He's recognizing what you've been through. He knows quite a bit about his home heritage, although you perceive him to not have originated from there. But you know that he understands maybe from his grandfather or maybe his great-grandfather what tribe you're from and the kind of honor that you seek. And he pounds his chest with his right fist in a motion of recognition and nods to you as well.
Got a question out of character quickly. I'm looking at my languages. I have one that isn't common and orc. Should I have common on there as well?
Common doesn't necessarily have to be listed. Everyone kind of knows
okay.
common. It's sort of like this world's version of English.
Alright,
So,
cool.
Quite common.
yeah.
So with that I'll return the salute. I'll
Yeah.
put my weapon away. And can I get out my alchemy jug? I just need to read.
You can. Also, something I mentioned to
my-
Chris before the game, but I didn't mention to you at Triggers, you're both actually quite hungry and have no food. You do have the alchemy jug, however.
And can I say again in Orcish, if I put my weapons away, we put our weapons away, and we come in, I have a magic jug that has 4 gallons of beer. Do you have any food?
Rohal, sorry. The wood elf steps forward and says, "I am Rohal, and I have good berries for you all. They will satiate you for the day. It is part of our druidic tradition."
Joseph looks towards Ev and like the other members, like kind of look like, is this okay?
Lorian shrugs, and I say, well, sure, I think something might be wrong with that poor fellow. Do you speak common? Hello.
My helmet retracts itself, and I say, "You look like you've been through hell."
Yes. I don't know if you've noticed, darling, but we are in a village teeming with horrible, evil, magical undead, and plague victims that have died and risen as zombies. You know, it's not exactly my first choice of vacation destination, but you can take what you can get, I guess.
That's fair. That's fair.
Joseph's stance is like kind of becoming more easy, but I would like for Joseph to like kind of look over them
Mic off.
to understand them a bit better if there are in an immediate danger. If there are speaking peace, actually.
Sorry, did you want to do an insight roll? Or
I guess yeah, insight.
okay, yeah, roll that. 14.
14.
Yeah, you see that they are both truly hungry and they truly need assistance in that regard, but they also seem to be very adept travelers. You see that considering the conditions are incredibly dangerous and you're in a very large group that almost got overwhelmed several times, they've held their own. To be here, just the two of them, they either have more people somewhere or they're very skilled travelers. You assume that their lack of food is only because they are carrying everything they own on them.
Do I, or can I tell by looking at people like what, for example, that who is a wizard, who is a warrior, rogue, etc. Like,
yeah, so you already did a 20 roll for insight, so I'm going to let that roll over. You imagine the kind of fair-looking elf that Ev is playing to be a wizard. That is pretty straightforward because she's got like all this arcane shit and even a spell book kind of like peeking out of her pack. The large half-elf to her right, you're not really sure, but he looks almost like a knight. You're not sure if he's a paladin or fighter or something along those lines. He's very silent and standing there at the ready, almost as if he is guarding her very closely, more than others. The wood elf announced that he's a druid. The half-orc in the back, you're not entirely certain, but you can see, based on his garb, that he has some of the very traditional orcish tribal clothing and symbols, which may indicate that he is a barbarian, because they tend to be a little bit closer to their
Is that the
rooted.
mariner's armor guy?
Correct. The tall fellow with the masked face and the bow, you're not certain if he's a ranger or a rogue, but he's something that can move quick and fast, and he seems to be skillful with the bow. The fellow to his right, wearing the full armor, you're not sure. He's probably some kind of a fighter. He seems to be a man of military. Both of you actually are familiar with that type of armor and some of the sigils that he's wearing, and you believe. Sorry.
I'm gonna move my character while.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. You can do that. You're not really in initiative right now, so as long as you don't do anything crazy, you're kind of free action. The guy that I'm talking about, you can tell that he has fought against the quote-unquote savage tribes in the Orklands and has had experience there, just based on your very high insight roll. The fellow to his right, you're not quite certain what he is. He is wearing these leather gloves and he's got these robes on. Yet also has a few weapons on his belt. You're not sure if he's a caster.
Is this Joseph you're describing him?
No. This is the guy in the purple.
Okay.
And then to the right, this almost certainly looks like a rogue. She's got all kinds of blades and daggers, and she's using like weapons of finesse, like short swords and rapiers equipped. And then Joseph to the right here is not even wearing armor. He's wearing a tie, and his shirt seems a little bit ripped on the sleeve, and yes, it is bloodied. There's still some blood on that shirt. And he does have a rapier, which I'm not sure if he drew it or not. You can remind me, Joseph.
Yes.
He did. Yeah, he has a drawn rapier, and you see a very a neat pack on his back. It's not too big, not as big as the others. That's about what you see, yeah.
So
Fire on the trigger.
I run into the room now. I'm going to, if I haven't already, I'm going to put my sword away. Again, I'm going to step in towards the room, and I'm going to take a wild guess looking at the state of these people, and I'm going to say, in Thieves' Cant, a friend is here, and I'm going to offer everybody some of the beer from my alchemy jar.
Yes, and Thieves' Cant is one of those things that it doesn't come across as a language to those who are not initiated. It is meant to be in disguise. But you see, also, in reply... Oops, what just happened to Joseph's character? Where did he go?
What the fuck?
He's backstabbing you, and you're dead.
Yeah. Well, try to fix that, Joseph. In the meantime, you see Joseph, the character that I was just pointing to, and the woman with the prosthetic iron arm, reply subtly in such a way that no one else in the room recognizes. In other words, with Thieves' Cant, those two reply. And actually, you see this gentleman here acknowledge you very, very subtly. So you believe that 3 of them know Thieves' Cant.
So I understand. So what? Can I give them another signal that asks, like, am I allowed to enter? Are we going to be cool? I don't want to kill you guys. I just want to survive. That kind of thing.
You can do that. In the meantime, Lorian, make an insight roll as he does, or an intelligence roll as he does that.
Okay.
Joseph now puts his rapier away.
Like it.
You know that this half-orc is still concerned as to whether or not you're going to accost him. You don't know if this is a friendly band, if people are like fucking marauders. But you're not really sure. You have no idea that he's using code with any of the members in your group. And Joseph, did you choose to reply in Thieves' Cant?
I don't know what the fuck to reply to that. I just say sorry and then I put my rapier away.
So you don't reply.
I just nod. A bit surprised.
You see the tall gentleman over here reply non-verbally in Thieves' Cant to step forward.
Okay, so with that, I'm going to turn around. I'm going to step away from the door, actually, over here, and talk to Fred, and say, in Orcish, quietly, I'm assuming you only understood the Orcish and didn't notice what else happened, but I'm pretty sure these guys are going to let us in. Just, right, we'll stay near the door, so we can run if the case they do anything, and don't let them surround us.
We really need some of those good berries, man.
Yeah, we're going to get some of that food, and then we don't have to stay with these guys. We've been doing alright on our own. I think a big group might slow us down. We'll have to see what else they can offer.
That sounds good. I'll follow you. Just be careful.
I put my weapon away, but I keep my hand on my hilt ready to draw it, and then I walk in slowly to the room.
Joseph will do the same gesture.
Are there any chairs in this ruined house?
There's not many. There's maybe like 2 broken ones in the back. And most of the rest is rubble. Those of you who had bedrolls were resting on your bedrolls through the hour. You see this gentleman here put his bow on his back and let his guard down, take a few steps back. You see this person here take a few steps back. She takes a few steps back. This person here does not lower his weapon, or I'm sorry, he did lower his weapon. I'm getting mixed up. This person keeps his weapon out. And
I'm gonna look at Felminar and nod my head at his weapon, but kind of give him like a little be ready to draw it if you need to. Type of look.
He keeps it low. Rohal steps forward and provides you each with 1 good berry, which, if eaten, satiates you for the day.
As I'm hungry, and it's just as if it eats, probably I'm just going to eat the berry.
Yeah, it's quite sweet.
What time is it?
It's approximately 9 p.m. So that should sustain you until 9 p.m. the next day.
Okay.
Good.
I look away when I take it. I just grab one. Not looking at him at all.
Fair enough.
And then before I eat the berry, I'm going to look at. Can I check the berry to see if it's been tampered with or?
Inspection roll, please.
Is that another skill?
Or you can do nature or inspection. You can choose which one to use.
You mean investigation?
Investigation or nature, right?
Yeah, you can choose
So
which
they're
one.
both at 2, so I guess.
It's your choice.
Okay, I'll do
I
nature.
smell it.
Oh,
21. You have heard of these before. You're not too familiar with them, but you see that it is quite clean. It actually has a sweet aroma to it, and it is not rotting away like other food in this region. You see that it is holding back from the negative energy that is pouring through the negative rift that you've heard about.
Before
So
I
it
eat
seems clean.
I'm gonna say to you say is it Lothrion who gave us the?
That would be
Rohal.
Rohal, who introduced himself
Rohal.
as Rohal. Yeah.
I'm gonna say to Rohal, why is this not rotten like everything else in this place?
It is touched by the grace of my druidic hands.
So I'm then gonna say I also have an item that seems to work in this place. It's the only thing that we've been able to consume, and we've been drinking gallons of mayonnaise, honey, and beer out of it to survive. And I'm still trying to understand why the rations that we did have rotted away within. Checking how quickly do they rot?
Oh, in just a matter of minutes, I would say 10 minutes or so. He says, this place is unnatural and befouled by all that spills out of the negative plane. It kills all life, which is against the druidic way. However, we have what are known as bag of holdings, which can protect any food or drink that you have. Anything that is alcoholic or of magical origin seems to withstand this negative energy.
Would I, does my character know, would it be able to know that? Do I have to do another investigation check, or does my character know that already?
You've heard the rumors of this place, and you've heard the rumors that this plague that's been spreading around the entire continent is originated from this place. There's rumors that there's a necromancer meddling with the negative plane. There's a rift between the planes. So it seems to check out.
Okay, so I'm gonna look at Fred and say I think we should eat this berry.
I'll swallow this whole.
Yeah.
Joseph,
Stop it.
It's, go ahead, Joseph.
We both
Joseph
eat
quietly goes to Ivan and silently, in thieves' kind, whispers, "What, do you trust this place? What do you think?"
She says, or she doesn't say. She.
Do I,
she.
do I
see-
notice,
Sorry, go ahead, True.
do I notice this happening?
Good question. Both of you can make since you're facing that direction, make a perception roll. The two new players.
Come on, don't give me a 1. Ooh,
22 and it's okay. You can still make a roll just to see if they're bustling. So you actually overhear his whispering. I'm gonna just call you by your character name. Fuck, I'm blanking out now.
Shinjo.
Jinyo, yeah. You actually do hear the whispering, and hear this character asking the woman whether she trusts them or not. She does not reply to this character. You don't know why, but she puts her arm on his arm briefly, as if to indicate we'll talk about this later.
Joseph
Okay,
nods.
so I'm not gonna do anything, but I'm gonna I'll see if anybody wants to have some ale from my jug.
The berries were very sweet, by the way, very, very sweet, and you do feel immediately satiated. Unlike anything you've ever eaten, it's as if you've eaten a hearty meal.
Okay.
I'm so tired always.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna look over and has the gnome spoken at all yet?
He has, I think. Hasn't he once, I think?
You once, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
he
okay.
spoke to you
What
briefly.
I forget what you said.
And this gnome is also much darker skinned than any gnome you've ever seen. You have never seen a gnome such as this, Lorian. Make an intelligence roll, Lorian, if you may. Sorry.
Now that you're inside, you can see that the eyes are also a dark gray color.
So Lorian, you are a learned individual, and you have heard of these gnome, but never seen them before. You've heard of deep gnome, which are almost as if they're like a drow as to elf as deep gnome are to other gnomes.
Well, Lorian don't discriminate none. I look over and I look over at the deep gnome for a moment. I blink and I say, "So, darling, do you come here often?"
I look
Joseph.
a bit towards Jinjo and then I just glare for a bit. I look back and forth, and I'm a bit. I have no words to say.
You just glare
at
crankily
glare
and
back,
say
yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
So
say
proud.
to Lorien, he doesn't speak much.
That's an astute observation, Joseph.
Joseph? What?
Oh wait, wasn't it? Oh, I'm sorry. I mixed your voices up. Yeah. Sorry, no. Let's get rid of that comment then. That was Trigger saying that.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
I'll say it again. I'll say he doesn't speak much.
Well, I'm glad I can understand what you're saying now at least. Where did you come from, the two of you?
We came from the Orklands, or I came from the Orklands. I've been sent on a suicide mission, I guess.
Well, that seems a little suboptimal.
I also came from the Orklands.
The tribe that I'm with, they hunt purple worms, and they said that if I can come up here and bring back some evidence that I've killed at least 10 undead monsters, that they would grant me a higher position than a slave. So they sent me.
You're a slave.
Well,
You don't have to be anymore. You know that, right? You're not. You're free.
and which one is Lorien in the room?
The one rather fair-looking high elf wearing the robes, who appears to be a
This
wizard.
one here.
So,
Yeah.
the most peaceful way I possibly can, I'd put my weapons on the floor and take my hood off.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, and Mike, you can tell that I suddenly feel more at ease in the situation. And then I say about being a slave and explain what it was like to be a slave in this orc tribe and how they used to sort of drag me around by what you can now see. His hair, his head is shaved, and the sickles go all across his head, the back of his head, and there is a ponytail with a brass ring at the bottom, very tight to his head, and he says that he was often dragged around by his slave master.
You don't have to go back.
But if it's I say that in common again, it's the only people that have offered me a place to stay. They're the only people that have ever said, "Oh, if you can prove this, then you can come back." And it might be my only chance. I was abandoned by my mother, and that was my only option, was to be a slave.
Well, the world is much bigger than you know, I think.
Well, I'm realizing that now. The more travel, this is the furthest I've ever been.
I'm sorry that you had to end up here. But I won't say I'd be sorry to have the help either. Are you familiar with the situation here? With the necromancer that is the cause of all of this undeath and the plague, the rot?
Jinyo is familiar with the rumors.
So I look at Fred and so I know of the rumors. I'm just guessing Fred knows of the rumors, so I nod and make a gesture like
He does, yeah.
Maybe these guys can help us get out of here.
Well, the thing is, we're going to try to stop him. We're here to kill him. And to hopefully close the connection to the negative plane that's bleeding out and corrupting everything.
So I'm going to say, if we are offered to help you, I won't be put in irons again by you guys, and in my sleep I won't be bound, chained, and have all my possessions taken off of me again. I'll be
Gods,
safe.
no.
What?
You have my
why Are you
word.
doing it?
I've actually freed a number of slaves since I first came to these lands.
So
And-
as a slave, would I know of Ev's sort of freeing of slaves from other places.
No, she's
No.
not famous in that regard. However, the tall half-elf wearing the full-scale mail steps forward and says, "And after we're done slaying this necromancer, we are heading to Ivestad to save hundreds, if not thousands, of slaves from human sacrifice. Slaves just like you."
It's true.
I pick up my sword and hold it in two hands and outstretch it forward and say, "I'm in." We're gonna- in like a
Why are you doing this though?
for the slaves. I have to do it. If I have the opportunity to be free, then these hundreds of other people need to be free too, and then maybe I can take some of these people back and free the other slaves.
So I approach you, and I give you a very deep, very respectful bow, probably one that you've never received from anyone before in your life. And I say to you, I would be honored to have you join us.
I look at Fred and say, "What do you think? I think this is a good idea."
I direct this towards the elf and I ask him, "Why are you doing this though? What are you getting out of it? Why would you risk your lives for this?"
Because somebody has to do something, and I'm somebody.
And
Because-
Ev, you, I'm sorry to interrupt, but you also recall that the reason for saving the slaves is also to stop the grand plot of the cultists.
Well, yeah. Well, I thought he meant the necromancer.
Ah, I'm sorry.
Part.
Go on.
I don't know if I can tell.
Yeah, that's what I meant to begin with. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Go on. I don't
Yeah,
want to
no.
interrupt.
Don't worry.
Because there is a horrible plague spreading across the land, corrupting everything, and it's killing people. I've witnessed it. It's a terrible, painful death of drowning in blood. And we all have to do what we can to stop it. Plus, there's a prophecy. Not sure I care about that, but
Do I
kind
know
of thing.
prophecy? Do I have to make a check for that?
You do not know of it.
Okay. What is the prophecy? I ask.
Well, this part of it is, oh my God, what was that? What is it
You can open your book, and it magically opens to the page as it does so. Do you choose to share it, or do you choose to keep it to yourself, or summarize it?
I will share it. Let's see. Oh, here you go. Is it prophecy or prophetic? Okay, no.
I can read it aloud if you choose, or you
Sure.
do yourself. So you both see her open a book, and written in Elvish it says, "Once he with silver hair rises from the ashes and serves the Ancient One, they shall bring forth an end to the ruling gods. It shall be on the day that legend becomes history, a birth of a new god, the conception from an unholy divine, nurtured by whispers. On the day of his birth, a new bond shall usher forth the downfall of faith and the rise of the Arachnid. The day ash rains from the sky, the one who is neither man nor woman will lead a band of heroes to confront the unholy infant. They will usher forth a world of light and love, or succumb to the darkness and subservience. When father reunites with daughter, false gods hold no power. When the mark of the one becomes the mark of many, a challenge shall bring forth bloodshed of blue blood and the fall of a false god."
I'm gonna say, do you think you're the god that's mentioned?
I am not a god, as far as I'm aware. But Precious, it was so sweet of you to suggest it.
And then I sort of, in a not sarcastic but a non-serious way, say, be careful what you read in stories, and gesture that the book might be made up.
I shrug and put the book away. Honestly, I don't really give a fuck who believes in what. I'm doing it because somebody has to. And I'd rather the world not sink into decay, despair, and endless violation of tentacles and slimes. So, we need to stop the plague, because otherwise it'll kill everybody.
Chris,
And
make...
once-
I'm sorry, go on. I didn't know you were going on. Go on.
Okay, and once we've done that, we have to go free the slaves. I made a promise, for one thing, but for another, the slaves are going to be sacrificed for Ganadar. Have you ever heard of Ganadar?
And I'm gonna say I don't give a fuck about religion. I never have.
Well, you might want to start, because he's planning to kill all the other gods and take over this plane. Which
So-
means making life really shitty for all of us.
So Fred, just to remind you out of character, because I know this all happened very quickly with your character creation, but Fred, that is the god that the cultists who wiped out your peoples follow. Ganadar.
What's the name of the god?
The official name is Ganadar, but he also goes by that which lurks, the ancient eye, and
Do we have
Yeah.
a pic?
a picture. You have a picture of what their holy symbol looks like, so I'll get that for you while you carry on.
But are you doing just for the sake of it? You're not getting any rewards? You're just doing it for the good of it?
I kind of like to think that my reward would be not living on a hell on earth where everything is destroyed and we're all enslaved by an evil tentacle god.
Don't we all, I'm gonna say, interject and say, well, that's already how I've been living, so what's the fucking difference?
Oh,
see-
there's a difference. There's a
In the
difference.
In the meantime, Jinyo can make a religion check while you guys talk.
My
19,
posture changed a
excellent.
bit after
So-
that.
So as you've traveled, you did talk with Fred a little bit about this, and you also know from your own knowledge that Ganadar is not like many of these pantheon of gods which are commonly talked about, like Lathander or Moradin. This is some long-forgotten ancient god from the outer realm, which is of an alien intelligence. Some long-forgotten ancient primordial thing that the oozes worship. All beings that were around before kind of the beasts and creatures that exist today. And it is an unearthly, unnatural, weird, strange deity that is of a blob of eyes and tentacles and slime. Yeah.
So I'm gonna say, again, if we kill this necromancer, we can free the slaves. And then
Yeah.
what happens to me? Can you take me somewhere where me and Fred will be safe?
Well, we can do our best. First, we have to make sure there's someplace safe for anybody to get to. But if we survive, yes, I'll do my best. I'll do my best. I happen to actually be nobility, and a holder of numerous lands, apparently. Yeah, don't I? Oh, I own land up here, don't I? I
do.
check. I checked
do.
through all of my notes and all of my wills and properties and holdings and the like.
As you pick it up, you see that not only do you own the Belmare Estate, which you've already visited in Moradin's crevasse of the Northern Dwalin Mountains in Dwaland, but you also own the Belmare Keep in Cliffshade Ridge of the Pure Marsh in Northold, among two other places that are further away.
Mhm.
One of them in Ivestad and one of them in Venzia.
So
Yeah.
can I suggest that if if you have all of this, that if we help you, you help us get out, you help us free the slaves, and then you help us set up somewhere that slaves can travel to be free.
That
It will help
sounds
kill-
like a wonderful idea.
So Jinyo, when Falminar mentioned Ivestad, you know that Ivestad is across the sea to the
I
north.
see this on the map. Is there a way
Sure,
I can-
I'll drag you guys just to clarify. And you all know this. So currently you are in Northold, which I'm pinging now, in the northwest there. And they say that after they fight this necromancer, if they are able to, they're planning to travel here to free many, many slaves from sacrifice to Ganadar.
So where did they say the necromancer is?
Not far from Northold. In fact, you might want to talk about that in character, Ev. This is an important plot point. In Gallo, you see
I'd say
Gallo
that.
growing impatient. Yeah, you see Gallo growing impatient, saying, "Yes, we must get to this necromancer because I must complete my bounty and kill the Deathlocks."
Yeah, so there's 7 deathlocks.
Sorry, I'm gonna go to the toilet. I'm still on the headset though,
That's right.
so I can keep role playing this one.
who are minions of this necromancer. And Gallo here is an assassin, and he has a bounty to kill them because they slaughtered an entire village of... wasn't it gnomes? Yes, they slaughtered an entire village of gnomes. Didn't they? No, wait. Honestly, I've forgotten it. No, Steve, did the Deathlocks kill the gnomes, or did
That was
did one
Dyrnor.
have gone it?
Dyrnor
That was
Cromwell
Dyrnor. Oh,
and
sorry,
the
yeah.
mostly his cultists, but there's rumor that Dyrnor is in charge of all that.
Which one was the guy that we're talking about?
Dyrnor Cromwell, you know in character.
No, the earlier, the bounty hunter. Who was he?
Oh, Gallo. He's the one standing back here. He stands about 6'3", is looking fucking
Military guy.
badass. No, not the military guy. The military guy's to his right. So
can I-
Gallo is now introduced
Moment?
as a bounty hunter.
Yeah.
Assassin bounty hunter.
Okay. I apologize for mixing my lore up, Steve. It's
That's okay. No worries. Yeah, no worries.
AKA Lieutenant Steve in game.
No,
Yeah.
it's not.
Can I ask?
pretty much.
I'm assuming as a bounty hunter, he has like a parchment shade saying, "Can I ask to see it?" That's- Although my character is a bit more relaxed and feels a little bit safer as you haven't immediately killed him, he still doesn't.
He says, I've already explained this to everyone else here. I was originally hired by Dyrnor Cromwell himself to kill everyone here. When I saw that these were the heroes of Gryhold, they saved Gryhold. I'm sure you don't know this, having been traveling the land on foot. I tore the contract up. I'm sent by a halfling to go kill Dyrnor myself, and I'm sent by representatives in Venzia to slay these 7 Deathlocks that work for Golazar the Risen, the Necromancer. Just across the swamp here.
So it's not. So how far a day's travel is it?
It's not even a day. It's quite close, actually.
There are complications, you see. Our guide was only able to tell us that across the swamp there are hundreds and hundreds of tombs. We don't know which tomb they're operating in. We don't know which tomb the rift to the negative plane has. We
So-
must determine this.
Does my lantern of revealing? So I know how this works.
So you know in character that it only reveals things that are invisible near you, and some things sometimes in the ethereal plane. So it's not something that can like necessarily guide the way or something like that.
Could it help? Would it help in the situation of using these tombs? Is what I'm asking.
You know in character that ghosts in particular sometimes pass through the ethereal plane, so that could be useful to you to help identify threats that are traveling through the planes to attack you.
Okay, so it won't help us find the right tomb or anything like that.
You're not certain. You're not certain actually. It could. You're not certain.
So I'll say, well, what is your plan then? We're just going to go randomly blind into tombs and try and stumble upon this necromancer bastard.
Well, we could use the power of observation. See if there are any undead coming out of or going into a specific tomb.
Yeah, I guess I overlooked that. So,
We could detect magic. Somebody's got a detect magic spell, right, Steve? Somebody does, right?
I think you do. I can check though.
I don't think I have detect magic. I don't have detect magic, Steve.
Ulrich might, but I would need a minute.
my character's
There's so many characters that have been thrown upon me. I have to check a lot of their spells. Let me see here.
Can I use? I can't use spells as my character, can I?
I could be able to help.
Can't use what? What did you say, Trigger?
Spells. It's fine if I can't. I'm just curious.
No, you don't have spells as your class.
Can I
Unfortunately.
get it?
I'm quite good at.
You can. Your
Okay.
class can be potentially get some magical items, which can help you cast spells.
Okay.
Yeah.
So while you're doing this, I'm going to say to Ev, I'm going to point unsubtly, probably the most unsubtle thing I've done. I'm going to point at him in the coat and Joseph and go, "What's his story?" And I'm going to ask Lorien, "What's his story?" And
Honestly,
hold my hand at his face, up at him.
we met him at a library and he started following us and
Just raised an eyebrow.
and he's been helpful and has decided to do the right thing, right, Joseph?
Joseph literally just fucking shrugs at you, like with his arms to the side, like,
He's a little bit weird.
I heard that.
Does it seem honest, Steve?
Yeah, do we,
Make
what,
an insight roll. Let me see here. That's like
Can
the
I do-
perfect time for an insight. You can both do an insight roll, sure.
just come back
I
in.
rolled 8 and 11.
An 11 and Jinyo.
I'll just come back to my computer and roll. Hold on a second.
All right. With your roll, Fred, you're just taking it at face value. You think that she's speaking the truth. 21 insight, excellent, very excellent. That is a natural 20 as well, which means as high as you can get. So you can tell that they are indeed fairly new traveling partners, and he may be a bit eclectic, but has been indeed helpful and has his own skill set that no one else has.
What sort of, with that check, what sort of vibe do I get off of him? Like, if you like a word to sum him up, like the way he stands, the demeanor.
I would say eclectic. The fact that he's the only one not wearing any kind of armor whatsoever, and he's in this fucking place, it shows that he is either overly confident or upholds his demeanor and attire above all else, which is a lot to say considering he survived through here. You know, it's a very perilous area.
Is there any sort of, so I don't really know the law here, any sort of like signal or gesture that would sort of, that the thieves, rogues, etc. have that they share, like a salute type thing that I can do from where I'm stood?
In character, you would know that it varies from guild to guild, and you're currently not enlisted under any guild, but in Thieves' Cant you can do something like that, an acknowledgement.
I'll do like another signal to Joseph saying, I see that you're proficient in Thieves' Cant. Maybe we should talk later if you want to remain aloof.
And Joseph does recognize this, yeah.
In Thieves' Cant, he will just say perhaps, in some sort of way. Actually, he's just saying he says in common perhaps.
Mhm.
Is it in like just a normal, not a non-threatening way?
Just perhaps.
Okay.
Now, Gallo says aloud, he says, and you can all tell without even making an insight roll, he is somewhat impatient. He says, we must either rest, or we must push through the swamp. I must kill these deathlocks. What are we going to
In other
do?
words, get a fucking move on, party.
Oriel. I could tinker something together to detect and see magical things, but that would take a day.
I'm not sure we have that. I think we should probably get moving across the swamp and see what we can figure out once we get there.
How tired am I and Fred? Like, am I quite eight?
Neither of you were tired. You were both extremely hungry, but once you ate the good berry, you were satiated.
So I'm going to say, well, we've had the food. We're satisfied. If you're desperate to go and kill these deathlocks for whatever reason, then I guess we go now. And I look at Fred and go, what are we going to do? We've got to make a choice. And see what he says.
Fred.
Oh yeah. Did you ask it, or did you just look at me?
I look at you in a way that I use this. So the sending stone that I have.
No, you have
Is
to
that-
speak in.
So I have to speak into it loudly. I might as well just say it then, don't I? So I'm going to look at him and go, well, it's now or never, mate. What are we going to do? And then I'll say, I think we should help them.
Let's go.
Let's go with them.
Let's go. Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to look at Lorien and go, we're with you.
Very well. Let's get underway.
And
I
I'll
look.
Before I look at we're with you, Lorien, and then I look at Joseph and go, perhaps, in a very sarcastic manner. And then my possessions. And I'm ready to go.
Just
I-
a bit annoyed.
I laugh, and it almost reaches my eyes, but not quite. And I look over.
I'm sorry. Go on.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm interrupting you so much. Go on.
I look over at the horses. I say, well, we've got to see if we can take them with us. Because I don't think they'd fare well if we just set them loose. I hope that they're prepared to cross the swamp.
So I'm going to say that if we leave the horses here, they'll die. I had a horse and it died.
Hmm.
So they've got to...
Yeah.
Either they come or we
It's
let
quite
them
tasty.
live. Or we eat.
No, we're not gonna let them. We're not gonna leave them to die. Now, what were you gonna say, Steve?
I was gonna say, Joseph and Lorien make a perception roll. Before you carry on with the journey. Joseph, you notice Ulrich mumbling to himself. For just a brief moment. Lorien, so do you. Just a brief moment. You notice Ulrich mumbling to himself, and you also all notice Falminar's newfound eagle, which I think you've met briefly, lands on his shoulder, and he begins to scribble a note, and he says, I'm sending a note to the Stygian to let them know that we are pushing onward. Yes, that's right, we have ourselves a ship waiting offshore for us. When we're done with this quest, if we survive, we will have passage across the sea to Ivestad. And then he lets the eagle fly off.
Steve, could I make out what Ulrich was mumbling?
Unfortunately, you cannot.
I'm going to give Ulrich a pointed, unblinking stare for a moment before I turn.
Mm-hmm.
And get on a horse. And have a Falmanar get on the horse behind me.
So I'm not on my computer. Are there enough horses for everybody, or
There's four
Four.
horses, and they're draft horses, so they can carry the weight of 2 people. The gnome is pretty small, so he can probably be a third person with two smaller people.
so?
So not everybody, actually. Right?
Not everybody can. Vivel can keep pace alongside, but I don't know
How
if
fast
anybody
is
else
a
can.
horse?
So I suggest then that Fred rides a horse as he's going to move this.
We have just enough people if Vivel stays
No, how
along
fast is the
foot if
horse?
we don't count the gnome.
Let's see, that would be Warhorse stats. Let me pull it up. Warhorse. Those, well, the horses are not going to go to a running speed. They can go 60 feet, but they're honestly going to go about 40 or 30. They're going to go about 30 like a brisk pace, because they're only going to trot. Because you guys aren't going to, like, you're not sprinting across the countryside, you're going to, like, kind of trot across, you know?
Yeah.
And you know that the journey is straight east by northeast through swampland.
How far?
The journey is approximately 5 to 6 miles, but it's rough terrain, very, very rough terrain, so it could take a good amount of time. Yeah.
I mean, we need to work out who's going to get on the horses then, don't we?
Everybody can get on the horses because Vivel is going to run them alongside and...
I think there's still one extra person, if I'm not mistaken.
We
1,
can
2,
take
3,
turns.
4, 5, 6,
I'd say
7.
to Jinjo.
Yeah.
Can I not pick Fred up on my shoulders and then get on the horse with him on my
I'm
shoulders?
wearing a heavy armor.
You can. We can push one horse harder and have, I think, 3 people on a horse. So if you have the lightest people on one horse,
Yeah.
so that would probably be the frailest. I think probably Rohal is one of the lighter people. So Rohal, the gnome, probably Joseph is pretty light-footed. You have Yvonne, that's also pretty light in frame. She's not very strong, she's pretty light. Ulrich is probably of average height and build. The heavier people are definitely Falminar. Vivel is beefy.
He's
Gallo
running.
and Cathreftes are like about equal in kind of stature. They're about 6 something. Kind of lean build. So you guys decide what you want to do. And we'll carry on to the swamps. You can just try, if you want to go at like just a brisk walking pace, it doesn't really matter, to be honest with you.
Can't Roadhall do beast form?
Let me check.
He should.
I think he has polymorph.
I think all druids can take beast form at least once a day.
Yeah, he could probably
he can
just
be his own horse.
He can just turn into an eagle if he wants, or a hawk, and just kind of provide overwatch.
Can he fly at his level?
If he's a beast form, he can turn into any beast.
There's limits to if you can go to a flying one.
Yeah, there's limits with druids.
Good point. Let's see.
So you can go to something you can ride for sure.
He does not have that spell prepared, unfortunately.
Wild shape is not a spell. It's a druid ability.
Okay. So yeah, he can
Yeah.
wild shape into something that is faster than the human. Sure. Go for
He
it.
can be a warhorse, easily. Actually.
Done.
Okay.
He's a warhorse. I don't know how he feels about that, but he's a warhorse now. Okay.
And he can carry.
Can I,
the gnome. So.
can I explicitly ride the shaped warhorse? I'd like to ride him
Sure,
specifically.
that's fine. That's fine. So we're pushing on through the swamp now in that formation. The terrain is not easy. I'll turn it on the volume, it's kind of blasting. There we go. So all of you make a perception roll.
Perception, you said.
Yes.
Let's come back to my PC and do it. Hold on.
19.
Yeah. 19. So
Conception.
you all notice
14.
this
Plus 4, 18.
the smell in these swamps are more foul than that of any swamp you've ever been in. Swamps are foul, but these are quite foul, and you do see the occasional corpse rotting, and in the distance you see undead, but they're on the horizon and they don't notice you.
I carry with me
The,
a small device, Steve, that brings
does
up a
what?
scent of flowers.
Oh, very
10
nice.
feet radius around me. Yeah.
Excellent, excellent.
What sort of device is it?
It's just a small, it's a mechanical looking flower actually, and it smells like
Nice.
it looks like a daisy.
Nice.
Excellent. I think everybody is very appreciative of that.
Yeah.
It's only
Um,
10 feet radius. I try to keep it to myself.
I get closer to Fred for the flower as I can't bear the stench of the swamp.
So, you smell nothing other than just the wonderful scent of flowers. The good berries are what they are claimed to be. You're all still satiated, and there's not a worry. It is approaching the middle of the night. It's becoming harder and harder to see. Most of you have dark vision. For those of you who do not, Joseph, for example, you can barely see more than 10 feet in front of you. Would you like to do anything about that? Do you want to use a lantern, or are you just going to ride the horse blindly?
I think
Since you're riding with someone who has dark sight, I believe, right?
who am I riding with then?
That's a good question. Are you riding with someone who has dark sight? I would imagine someone who's holding the reins has dark sight, at least.
I have no idea.
Okay.
Am I and Ginger on the same one?
You guys can choose. Honestly, this is actually kind of important. So,
I mean,
at this
I
point,
would not sit with anyone else, so I would
Well,
probably be sitting with him.
okay.
Yeah, I'm the same. I would want to be with Fred.
Okay, so I'm gonna create another horse that represents Roll Hall. So this is now Roll Hall. So we have
We
how many?
do-
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 people. Then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 horses. So that's 2 people per horse. So everyone pick a partner. So the 2 of you are on a horse. I don't think Trigger has this token, so I'll just drag it for him for the time being.
I was.
Sorry, I'll be back in 2 minutes. I'm just outside smoking my joint.
Alright, you
I
2 are on a
was going
horse.
to ask. I was going to ask Yvonne if she would like to ride with me, and
We're on this one. This
if
is
she would, then if I don't have anyone with dark side, then I would probably have my lantern out.
She's happy to do that, but she does not have dark sight, so you guys can take your lantern out if you choose to.
Yeah, I'm holding a lantern and holding the reins too, I guess.
Okay, so let me do that, and then... Okay, so you have the lantern out.
I got super good dark vision, 120 feet.
Ulrich is going to ride with Cathreftes. Yes, you do. You have really good dark sight. Let me just move that forward, okay. Lorien, I assume, is going to ride with Falminar, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. So that's the formation then.
Obviously,
Gallows...
there's something I want to ask you for my character can have before we go out. It's just like, I don't know if this is even in the game, like a little set of like glass vials just to put samples in. I don't know if that's possible.
absolutely, yeah, you have that done. That's totally reasonable. Let me just make sure I have everything set. Okay. Yeah, so it is actually pitch black here. You're just looking through with your dark sight. You do not see any immediate threats except for undead endlessly walking on the horizon. Everything smells like flowers. I would like you all to make another perception roll. This is rougher terrain, and for those of you who don't have your characters on this battle map, please drag them out and put them on the appropriate horse.
I'll give it to you.
Yeah, no problem.
It smells like flowers. This distance, by the way, so they don't get it behind us.
So which one are you
Lorien,
on?
25. Wonderful.
9.
Nine.
You wanted the perception check, right?
Perception, yes please.
12.
12, okay.
Do I have to add the 4 in brackets, or does it do it automatically?
It does it, everything
That
does
is-
everything automatically.
Oh,
You
okay.
can see what actually wrong. So we're up in...
Huh, my token grabber is acting out. Oh
I
well.
really like this roll 20. It's quite
Yeah.
like the map and everything's really good.
I'll tell you something, in real life, tokens, like having just this many tokens is like $100 or more. These
Okay.
2D tokens that I have are like free, because I just like, I can either rip them off of Google or whatever, or just download them or purchase them.
print tokens like that. You have an actual character.
If I was serious about this stuff in real life, I would have a 3D printer or something. Anyway, so Lorien, you're the only one who notices you actually can smell beyond the scent of the flowers an unmistakable, putrid smell of rotting vegetables. Something that is just more putrid than anything a swamp should ever smell. Beyond that which the negative plane produces. And you also sense a rumbling in the earth, ever so slightly. You have ridden on horses as nobility many times, and you know that this is not just the moving of the horse. This is something beyond that.
Stop.
It's not
Hold
a, it's
up.
not a tempest either.
Hold up. Pause. I feel the earth moving, and I smell something untoward.
I stopped the horse, I guess, or we stopped the horse.
As soon as you stop the horse, you see erupt from the muddy earth this beast. I'm going to share an image with you.
Ah, what the fuck?
It's huge.
Jesus Christ.
Oh,
Fucking
Oh
yeah,
my
dude.
god.
A black dragon.
And it speaks.
fuck.
Oh. It speaks.
One moment.
Hey, I speak Draconic. How nice.
I hope we can understand.
One
what
moment.
he's-
Who fucking
Back.
dares enters my domain and awakens me from my sleep?
Hi, I'm Lorien. Passing through to the other side of the marsh to deal with a necromancer. What's your name?
I'm Niza the Mighty. What is your business?
Well, I'm gonna kill him. Hey, I don't suppose you've consulted a seeress anytime recently, have you? Because I did, and she mentioned a dragon, actually. Maybe it's fate that we've come and met here on this beautiful night.
And I am fucking pissed you entered my domain.
Well, I apologize. I didn't know that this was your domain. And you definitely are mighty, though. My goodness. I just want to pass through to go kill the necromancer on the other side of the swamp. Is that okay?
You want to pass through? Yeah,
Well-
sure. Why don't you just walk by?
I mean, is that okay? Are you okay with that? You know, consent matters.
I smell gold. If you would like to pass through, you have to do something for me.
And what's that?
I want all your gold. But most importantly, I seek something really important to me. I need you to retrieve it.
What is it?
Orb of the Dragon kind. The paladins have been using it to control my kind, and I don't like it.
Where do we find it?
You mentioned you're looking for the necromancer. I could care less if you kill him or not, but I can tell you where to find him, and I can tell you where to get my orb.
So, can
Joseph is fucking frozen in place.
I try and persuade the dragon that we might need the gold to bribe other people on the way there to kill the necromancer to get the orb? Once we return with the orb, we can...
Before you do that, the horses start bucking. I need you all to make a dexterity saving throw.
Roll do that as well.
That's the... Okay, that one, right?
We're on the fake horse trigger.
Yeah, Rohal's not gonna buck. So the
Yeah.
people that are on
Well,
Rohal.
Rohal returns to his elven form because he
Okay.
knows that should he need to, he must be ready.
I got my helmet up and my hands are a bit blue.
Without making any rolls, you know immediately this is a black dragon, and it is not young.
So can I try and persuade the dragon? So can I ready my hand on my blade? Don't draw it yet. Which is like casually, and then try and persuade the dragon that we can give her, I don't know, 10 gold pieces now, and we might keep the rest to try and bribe somebody or buy some things to kill the necromancer to get the orb back.
In a moment, Joseph, make a 1d6, and Jinyo, roll a 1d6. I'll roll for you, Jinyo, because you're new to this.
Did he fall off?
Jinyo, you take
Rohal?
you take. I'm sorry, you're on Rohal. You don't take one, but Joseph, you take a 1d6. Joseph, you take 6 damage falling to the ground on your back.
That's rough.
The horse bucks off to the side. It's still within view. Everyone else kind of manages to... Lorien manages to control her horse. She's still on it. Ulrich and Kathritis jump off purposefully as it bucks, and they manage to deftly run with their feet. This horse also runs in this direction.
Wait, Lorien stayed on her horse, but I didn't? What?
Joseph
You
got a
did not.
21 dexterity save.
I'm sorry, I was looking at Joseph's 7 from earlier. I'm sorry, Joseph. You can get those 6 HP back. I'm sorry, I looked at the wrong roll. You're fine. You're fine. You're all fine. You're all fine.
No horse is gonna stop us.
So go ahead, make your speech, Jinyo. Say what you want to say, and then you'll make a persuasion roll.
So what I want to say to the dragon is, we can give you 10 gold, but I personally will give you 10 gold pieces now, and I'll keep the rest of my gold in case I needed to kill stuff to get the orb back for her. Then I'll give her the rest of the gold on the way back.
Okay, make a persuasion roll. That is actually super high. You said you wanted to give 10 gold to buy something if you needed something to get the orb back.
So I'll give 10 gold.
Give her 10 gold.
Give her
For
10
now,
gold.
'cause-
gold in
Make
case I need.
Make an
Yeah,
insight roll to the dragon's demeanor and the dragon's face.
Okay.
Even with a 13, you see that with your most persuasive effort, the dragon was likely going to eat your face, but your persuasion reduced its temper to the point of at least letting you live, but it's still hungering for the gold.
Did you think that this is a negotiation? I will let you live. That is your reward. Retrieve the orb of the dragon kind. I want all your gold. And because you decided to bargain, I want all your horses too. I can have her for red meat every now and then, and if you want to live, you give me your horse, and I'll eat that instead.
So, is the half-orc person with us?
Yes. I have to drag him over. Sorry, he wasn't on the image there.
I don't know if I'm allowed to know this or not. Does the dragon understand Orcish? Would I know that?
You do not know whether it knows it or not.
Hey Steve, with a perception of 15, what do I perceive our chances are of surviving this?
It wouldn't be a perception. You need to make. You can choose whether you want to do intelligence or nature.
Do intelligence, I guess.
May I also do that?
One of
to
those
understand if we're to live?
So your roll was low, but you once again you are learned of things arcane and also of aloof places and just far off places, and you know that a black dragon that is more than a youngling is ferocious and dangerous, and more so the fact that you're ass deep within its territory. Thick mud, hard to move. Your squad has already killed a young red dragon, and that was with the might of a monk, Sandra the mighty warrior, who's lost to the plains.
Yeah.
You are convinced that you might be able to take this thing on if you were maybe in the town with a town guard and ballistas and an army behind you, but several of you in the dark, several of you are blind, and you have a lantern, and you are in its territory, which it knows intimately, and it has burrowed from underneath the mud. You do not think that you will be able to take this thing on, and you also recall with your intelligence roll, as low as
That
it
I
is,
have to consort with the dragon.
you have met with rain swept the seer, who told you that you need to negotiate with a dragon in order to complete your quest. But you're the only one who knows this.
actually,
You
the
and
word
Rohal are the only ones that know this.
The
Sorry?
word was consort.
Consort, indeed.
Yeah, but
Well, I turn to Jinjo and I symbol that my pockets are empty. I ain't got no gold. I used to make it with my hands. I do this signs to him. And I look a bit worried.
I'm sorry, say that one more time. I was just calculating something. I'm sorry, please.
I use symbol with my hands. I don't say anything. I just do signs. Like my pockets are empty.
So I look at. Can I?
Wait. Before you do that, is that true out of character or is it deception? It's true. Okay, very well.
So
I
look at Joseph, and highlight that this is in Thieves' Cone. Highlight this is an important question. What are we doing with this fucking dragon? Like, are we going to give the horses and the gold up, or are we going to try and fight this thing?
I'm gonna. Oh no! You guys are thieves canting. I don't know what the fuck you're saying.
Joseph will look. Joseph will just not do anything. I don't think he has seen a dragon this close before.
Joseph, make an insight roll quickly, please.
Where is it? Here. 12.
12 is low. All you can perceive is that the dragon is growing impatient and it's starting to scan each and every one of you as if it's picking a target.
I'm gonna get off of my horse and give it an affectionate rub on the muzzle and say, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And get off the horses. I tell the other members of the party.
Yeah, Joseph will get off the horse slowly.
Now,
For
Steve,
fuck's sake.
my gold is in my bag of holding. Now I know I have a fair amount of knowledge about magical artifacts and the like. Since everything in a bag of holding is in a pocket dimension, a dragon's not going to be able to smell that, right?
You're not certain. You don't think so, but you're not certain.
So how much do I know about this dragon? Do I need to make an insight check, or can
You can choose intelligence or nature.
So intelligence is 14. Yeah,
Have I seen the dragon before?
You have not seen dragon before, no. But you've know a bit about them. You've heard about them, and have spoken with people who have been in great battles. Jinyo, you're not certain at all. Jinyo, you have seen a red dragon briefly when you were younger, flying through the sky, coming from a battle. but you know nothing of Black Dragon. You just know that they're intensely secluded. They are spiteful. That's all you know.
So I take my gold, and put it into a separate pouch, and hang it on the muzzle or the bridle, where the reins are of Lorian's horse, and go, well, that's the fucking gold gone then.
Yeah.
Cheers.
I open my arms up. As everyone knows, I don't carry it. I turn to Falmanar. I'm sorry. When we get to the next town that I have holdings in, we'll see what I can gather for your pay, Falmanar, but you must give what you got to her.
Lorian, make a perception roll.
Me being 3 foot tall, how high do I have to look up to see the head of the dragon?
Well, you have exceptional dark sight, so that's not an issue, but you have to look up approximately, I want to say, 60 to 70 degrees. Lorian, with a 21 perception roll, your keen elven ears hear Cathreftes and Vivel muttering to each other from the hill on your left.
Oh, are they hidden up there?
They're not hidden, but they are muttering some things to one another.
Do I hear this?
Make a perception roll.
I wouldn't hear it.
You do.
Come to
You
me.
do hear this.
I say in Orcish, what's the plan? And loud enough that they can hear. And in a non-threatening manner, so the dragon doesn't get annoyed.
The half-orc replies, "We never kneel to any man or beast." And at that they leap from the ledge onto the dragon.
Jesus Christ.
And
I'm
this
gonna
is
run-
perfectly in line with what you've seen Vivel do against the sea serpent in that mighty battle. Those of you who were there for that.
I'm gonna get as they jump in, I'm gonna grab my gold off the horse's muzzle, put that back, and then I'm gonna grappling hook, if I can, throw the grappling hook around. I don't know if I'm allowed to do this or not. Around the horns of the dragon.
Well,
to try
at
and,
this
like-
point we're going to do what's called initiative.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, we're going to do what's
Alright.
called initiative.
Well, this was a fun
Roll
game
So I get put on the
while
thing,
we
right?
played it.
A practical mix of
So where do I roll
So,
initiative?
so it's up to the top left somewhere.
You gotta click on your
s-
token
Yeah,
before you roll it.
yeah. So click on your
Steve,
token
I
and then
did
roll it.
Steve, I did a little fuck up. I accidentally somehow deleted my token again. My initiative was 4, so I...
Got it. I'll add you. No worries.
Is that on the character sheet somewhere, or am I being?
Just click the character first. Or
It's
Yeah, I
between
clicked my
armor
character.
class and speed.
Ah, I see. Okay, thank you.
oh, the normal red thing.
Oh, 14.
But can you not change the value? Like if Joseph does it and then change the value after? That way we can still see the symbol. I can hover over and see him on the map.
So first we're going to do some initiative. I'm sorry, say that again. What did you say?
If Joseph just does it again and then changes his own number to 4, then that way we can. actually
I just
hover
fixed it. I just fixed it.
over. We can't hover over that and see where he is on the map.
You can't hover over it. What? Sorry?
If you hover over the turn order, you can see where the thing is on the map. It highlights it.
No, it's fine. I'm going to put them in ascending or descending order. And then I have to do these guys here. For simplicity's sake, I'm going to just roll for one of them and have them all go in a row, the NPCs. Okay, so they all got a 5. So, yeah, I'll just have that go. Yeah, unfortunately. That's fine. And then I have to do the dragon. Let's see here. Take a look at your stuff and what you want to do. We're going to start that in just a second. All right. Where did I put my dragon token? Hello. Okay. I put it right over here. Okay, so the
Dr.
dragon.
Steve killing the horses.
Not my decision. It's your decision.
It was not. Mira over there laughing in dragon.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god,
Okay.
that's Mira.
Yes,
Mira is my black dragon, which is epic. Lorian,
The elven kind.
go ahead,
You
Lorian.
sound like you're enjoying
Okay.
that. Mira.
Okay, the first thing I do is I shout, "Do not engage! Fall back! Stop! Do not engage! We must fall back! We must not fight her!" And
And do you move or anything?
yeah, I'm gonna move way the fuck away!
Okay, very good.
I have to think of
Um,
the greater good, Steve.
Next is the dragon's turn. Let's see here. I'm gonna have some of these rolls off screen. Why did I put? I have so many windows open. Here's my dragon. Okay, the dragon is first going to make a frightful presence, which means all of you make a wisdom saving throw right now, please.
Doing me? I'm
Is it
still.
against magic, Steve?
I'm sorry, it's a wisdom saving throw.
No,
Where
is
do
it
I-
against
where is-
magic or is it?
What do you
magic
mean?
effect?
No, it's not. It has nothing to do with magic. It's literally it's frightful presence. It's a fucking black dragon in the night in its
14.
swampy
Yeah,
lair.
I got a 14.
So how do I do that?
So to the right of your abilities, there are saving throws, and it's the wisdom saving
Oh, yeah.
throw. Yeah. Okay, let's see here. And yeah, you are all frightened. Let me roll for the NPCs. I'm doing this
I
with real
have
dice.
dark vision. Am I still as terror? I mean, I probably am, right?
Yeah, no, the
Oh,
dark vision
dark,
doesn't.
yeah.
The dark vision doesn't help with your frightfulness. The frightfulness is the dragon that's going to try to murder
Alright.
whoever
If
defies
anything,
it.
you're even
Huge
more
fucking
scared because you
dragon.
can see it better.
Vivel and Cathriftes have a steely resolve. Yvonne is extremely frightened. Ulrich is not frightened. Gallo
Can
are
I,
not frightened.
Can I think a bit logically there? I got Flash of Genius. Add myself a +5 to my roll.
For your wisdom
Make
roll,
it a
is?
19. Yeah.
How many
I can do
times?
that
How many
to
times can you use
anyone's
that?
roll.
How often can
5
you do
times a
that?
day on anyone.
So you are not frightened then. You are not frightened.
Yeah, I get myself a 19 instead.
Excellent.
Joseph
that means you'll
is
be able
me.
to think a little more rationally.
You shot on
I
me.
rolled a 5, so I'm pretty afraid, aren't I?
I took a deep breath and I thought about it.
Joseph, you're frightened, which means you have no choice but to flee or cower. Yeah.
I was fucking wrong with you, man. I
Well,
was
it's not your
wrong.
move yet. It's not your move yet. It's a slow your roll.
no.
So the dragon, so that was that. Now it's making an attack on Vivel. Let's see here.
Have you just moved that, or is it all just auto playing?
I'm rotating it myself.
Oh.
Okay, Vivel is slashed horribly in the dragon's by the dragon's claw. Next we have who is that? That's Jinyo's
Jinyo.
turn. Yeah, Jinyo.
So if I'm talking and stuff like that isn't a bonus action, is it?
You can talk anytime.
So I'm
As
going
long
to
as
look at
it's
Fred and
right.
go and say, well, are we going to fight this dragon?
We can't respond this turn because it's not our.
I'm sorry, I made a mistake. It actually attacks Vivel 2 more times. The bite misses and the claw slashes into him severely. You see that he is bleeding, but he is still up. Okay, go on, Jinyo.
So if I talk to someone, they can reply, can't they, or not?
Absolutely, yeah.
So I'm going to ask Fred, are we going to fight? I'm going to ask the people around me, are we going to help fight this dragon?
I mean, you are frightened, so you're like saying this through like you're trembling and shit, and you're actually trying to flee at this moment, based on your wisdom saving throw.
Can I? Is there some?
Right then.
Is there a way I can like ready myself to like fight the dragon? Can I do something to sort of countervene?
So this fear lasts for a time. I don't want to say how long because it's a bit meta, but you are able to make. Let me see here. Yeah, you're terrified right now. Unfortunately, that's all I can
You're
tell you.
under a condition at the moment, so
Correct.
So there's nothing I can do about it. So I have to flee,
No.
right?
Yeah, correct. Unfortunately, yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna just go as far as I can away then.
Yeah. Go ahead, Fred.
Well, how far can I move? Can I move to Ev, or do I have to?
Yeah. Usually it's 30 feet per turn. These squares are a little big,
You're not
so
forced to run, though. You're not forced to run, so you can't move closer.
That's true. This grid's a little off, so we're gonna say that each square is about 10 feet, so or about a little less than 10 feet. So you can make it by the horse around here. Yeah, you're good there. That's good.
I'm gonna try and like run into the trees a bit.
That's perfect. Yeah, that's fine.
Oh wait. Can I go like? If I go here, can I still see the dragon and what's happening?
You can. Yeah.
You can.
I'll do that. Yeah. And that still counts as sort of like cowering. Yeah, you're fine. Next we have Fred's move.
Get my weapons out.
That's fine.
Myself.
You can
Where
do
does the move to actually reach the dragon?
You have to move. What's your full movement? Is it modified by the armor?
35.
You can move a full. You have to use 30 of those 35 to get to the dragon.
Really? That might change stuff.
Because the grids are a little bigger than they should be on this particular battle map.
I'm just reading one thing real quick. Right, we'll do that. I'm going to... Oh, that thing better be strong. It's probably strong. Do it. I'm going to... check the range of it before I say it. I'm going to shoot out a... I'm bringing out my fist. I'm tilting my wrist a little bit. You probably see the Spider-Man. And I'm gonna shoot out a bunch of web from my arm.
Okay.
And it's going to form a 20-foot cube in, like, on the ground around the dragon here, so it gets stuck in it.
Okay. Does it have to make any kind of save or anything?
Not until the stop of its turn. I can link you the spell.
Yeah, just let me know when it's its turn or whatever turn. It is now taking a legendary action at the end of your turn. It is making a wing attack. So everybody within 10 feet of the dragon.
I'm going to move as well, by the way.
That's fine.
Sorry.
So Vivel and Kethreftes are going to have to make, let's see, dexterity saving throws. I'm going to do that right now. Dexterity saving throw for him. Dexterity saving throw for him. Yeah, they're taking a fuck ton of damage. Not as much as I thought. Okay. They both get bludgeoned by this wind that is blasting them backward. They are now prone on the ground. And the dragon grasps Vivel in its jaws and attempts to fly, and you see it flapping its wings, but the webs that were shot out by Fred are preventing it from fully lifting off, but it is attempting to lift off at this moment. Next we have Joseph's move. Joseph, you're frightened.
Dex saved whenever it's
I am going to bonus action disengage and action dash to fucking the same way fucking Ivan goes.
Okay. The creature makes another legendary action at the end of your turn, which it's able to do out of turn. It's now making a tail attack, and as it has Vivel in its jaws, it whips at Kethreftes. And that batters him as he's already prone on the ground. Next we have Gallo. Gallo is making his way up this hill. He's going to take a shot with his bow. I'm going to try to do these NPCs as fast as I can so they don't take up everyone's time. Gallo. We are going to do his combat roll right now. Oh, it's an 18. And that actually misses the dragon with an 18. Yvonne is running, she's fleeing. Ulrich is fleeing. He hides in the bushes. And Rohal is... I didn't do his save yet, I'm sorry. Let me roll that for his fear. He is also fleeing. Thalmanar has a steely resolve, but he is moving into the bushes here to help protect. Or which way did Lorien go? Ah, he's following Lorien. He's following Lorien's instructions. Next, we're back to Lorien's move.
I'm going to scream in horror, but I'm also frightened, right? Yeah. So I am backing further away.
Okay, Dragon's move. You said it was a dex save, correct? For the webs?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm assuming he has my spell save, which would be a 16.
Dragon does not break out of the webs. However, the dragon...
Then.
It is restrained, correct. The dragon does 3 attacks onto Vivel. I'm sorry, I skipped Vivel's turn. Well, he was still prone. So Vivel gets up. He attempts to make... he goes into rage. He has a war pick attack. And it does not hit the dragon. He makes another war pick attack. It still does not hit the dragon. The dragon makes 3 attacks on Vivel. And all 3 of them... He gets bitten and slashed twice. And is bleeding profusely on the ground in front of the dragon. Cathreftes duplicates himself. This is something that he can do. I need Joseph. I need Frederick and Jinyo to make Arcana rolls when they see this happening.
That is a 17.
Okay.
Where's the arcane? Oh, there. 22.
Wow. Okay. So the both of you just barely recognize this kind of ability as something that is only seen in the Orkland battles. There were only certain warriors that have mastered the ability to split themselves among timelines. And what you're seeing is called Echo Magic and Echo Knight abilities. Cathreftes is an Echo Knight. And he's mastered the ability to split himself among timelines, and he has now 2 of himself. So one of them is translucent.
Red scale, okay.
And he attempts to make attacks at the dragon. He slashes 2 times with his glaive, and the dragon deflects them with its horns. Next we have Joseph's turn. Joseph, make a wisdom saving throw.
Yep, nah, I'm still running.
Still frightened, okay. Frederick, make a wisdom saving throw.
Sorry, me?
Yeah, you.
Does it intimidate me again, or something?
Well, what was your wisdom saving throw?
This time it was a 6. But I
Okay,
wasn't frightened before.
you're not frightened. Now we have, so it's your move. What would you like to do?
I think this is where I turn around. And I tell him that it's time to go. And how far can I get with my 35 feet?
Right by Rohal. A little bit past Rohal, actually.
Right.
Here.
He sees this little gnome in a big armor scurry past him.
Very good.
I'm going to... Actually, on my way away from there, I'm going to do that.
Also, Joseph, I forgot to mention in fear, you also dropped your lantern. You're stumbling in the dark now. And so is Yvonne.
I don't. I'm going to turn off the flower scent from my machine.
Fair
Actually,
enough.
I'm gonna dash. I'm gonna dash. Turn around. I dash. I keep going.
Lorien, it is your move. You make a wisdom saving throw, please.
Yeah,
You're no longer frightened. You have sense and reason about you.
I'm screaming, my gods! Kath! Vivel, stop! Stop! I don't have any map left to run out of.
Very well. I assume you run.
So,
This is Dragon's turn. The dragon breaks free of the webbing. You hear Vivel cry a gurgling shout. Then the dragon turns and attacks Kethreftes, clamping it in its jaws, and it takes to the skies. And it
Did you
flies
skip
off.
Jinyo's turn?
Jinyo? I may have actually, I apologize. Jinyo, is there anything you'd like to do?
Yeah. Well, I'll try and see if I'm not feared there, so...
Make a wisdom saving throw and we'll
Wisdom.
find out. You're still
Oh.
you're still afraid, so it's fine.
I'll just move with everybody else then.
Actually, Jinyo, make a perception saving throw as you were rather close compared to the others.
Okay. Perception's a bit higher, so
Mhm.
hopefully 20.
Wow, okay. And you have dark sight as a half-orc. You see the other half-orc split in two in the dragon's mouth. You see the warrior from the orc lands in the dragon's claws get grasped and lift into the sky. And as he does that, you then see the translucent echo turn opaque, as if he had changed forms from the actual self into the echo, transforming and teleporting out of the dragon's jaws. But the dragon is nowhere to be seen in the sky. It is pitch black.
I shout to the guy in front of me, "Are you okay? Do you need any help?"
He says, I'm fine.
And then I'll say, "Get the horses, let's go."
The horses are bucking wildly in place.
Can we, can I try and use some of my movement? Well, that's what? 10 feet of my movement. And then is it an animal handling check?
Absolutely.
11, so probably not.
You're having a hard time with this one, but you do calm it down. You can't get it to move, but it is no longer frightened and running. It's just calm in place. We're actually going out of initiative order right now. The dragon pounces down, crushing Kethreftes entirely, and offers one more chance at negotiation.
This is your last chance. Your friends are quite tasty. I wonder if you're tasty like them. Either you give up and do what I ask of you, or I shall devour you as well. I do not ask Thrace.
Well, that wasn't my decision. What just happened?
It's true. You should convince your friends. Because I am
Can I ask you
a generalist.
a question?
You can.
If I have like the oil flask, for example, if you were to, if I was to throw it, let's say like onto one of the horses as like a distraction, could that potentially frighten the dragon and set the area on fire so we could run?
Right, the dragon.
The oil should light. The oil should light to a degree. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to use my sending stone. So are we in initiative order now, or is this just I can do?
Well, you're out of initiative order because the dragon has landed. You see Kethreftes and Vivel's broken bodies underneath its claws, and it is asking you to cooperate. And to recap, it says it wishes for you to retrieve the orb of the dragon kind from the tomb in which Golazar the Risen is operating. She will let you live for your gold and your horses for your insolence, in exchange for you to retrieve and get this orb of the dragon kind for you, because the paladins have been using this orb to oppress the dragons.
Toss my bag of gold in a non-threatening manner towards the dragon, and say, "We'll get the orb," and then I will run as far the fuck away as possible.
Make a perception roll on that while you do that. I mean, sorry, not perception. Persuasion. Yeah.
Oh god, I've done it.
I would help you by giving my gold as well, but I ain't got none.
It's fine.
So, because you threw the gold while doing this, it is much more enticing to the dragon than simply trying to con its way out of 10 gold, which is an absolute insult to a dragon. By giving your gold and conceding while asking for the horses, you are much more persuasive.
So, can I take the horses?
You have finally come to your senses. I want the gold, but I want the orb of the dragonkind more. You can keep your fucking horses.
Hey!
Yay! I'm gonna take it.
Are you ready to find out where to get it?
Yes, please,
Get on the horse.
oh mighty one, please let us know.
Good. You will find the Necromancer's tomb beneath the Lone Pine. It is the tallest dead pine in the region. There you will find the orb of the dragonkind, and you shall bring it to me, and I will leave you unharmed.
Very well, Felminar, if you would. Get up on the horse.
I'd like to find my lantern, please.
You see that the lantern is overturned at the base of where your horse used to be. The oil is expended, but the lantern is still in one piece.
Who were the
But
people that
I will refill the oil and light it again, and pour the horse with Ivan again, I guess.
Who were the people that danced?
Yes. I cannot enter the tomb because it is magically fortified, so you will need to get it.
Alright. One orb of dragonkind coming up.
So, the dragon has explained where Golazar is operating. It is out of the hundreds and hundreds of tombs, it is in the tomb underneath the one lone pine which stands out amongst the rest on the geography. However, the cost of your life is returning the orb of the dragonkind. All of you make an Arcana roll. Or intelligence, it's your choice. Okay.
I rolled a 12.
Aw, seriously? I rolled a 10?
I got 4.
I got
So none of
8
you
Arcana and
know.
a-
None of you know what this strange. None of you know what this strange device is.
Because of your friend's insolence trying to negotiate with me, I am keeping all of your dead companions' belongings. They're all mine.
And it slams its paw down, its claws on the dead bodies, claiming what is theirs.
Wait, Kath and Vivel are dead?
Indeed.
Oh, scheiße.
Who's who?
There was the half-orc
Captain?
and the human soldier.
Human soldier is dead, and half-orc.
Correct. So, the dragon is smelling your gold. Are you all submitting your gold?
I only have one gold coin, so I guess I'll give that.
Give your
Do I
gold
change
coin.
my gold from 58 to 0 now on my sheet?
Correct. If you are indeed giving the gold. If not, that's something that needs to be worked out.
No, my gold is gone. I've given it to the dragon.
Yeah. Felminar
Lorien,
gives his.
fair enough. I know that, Lorien, you were deciding whether or not to use your bag of holding. What do you choose to do?
My bag of my gold I keep in my bag of holding.
What I mean is, are
And
you keeping that
I'm-
a secret, or?
Yeah, I'm keeping that a secret. It's in a pocket dimension. How's it gonna smell it through a pocket dimension?
There we
Go
go.
ahead, and I move closer, and I stop the smelting from my flower on my way there, and then when I get there, I put the mechanical daisy like on the ground. And I get back on the horse with.
A peace offering. It also makes smells.
No, it doesn't make smells anymore. I stopped that.
Oh.
But I stopped it before I reached dragon.
Before you continue your journey through the midnight to the east, the dragon addresses you one last time with its foul stench.
Did everyone concede their gold, or are you holding back?
I say, I personally have conceded all my gold. You can smell me. I am conceding to your demands, O mighty dragon. Please do not devour my soul.
I ain't got none.
Jesse goes, nope, that's everything I had, nothing more.
Ulrich has already dumped all of his gold before the dragon and has backed away without turning its back on the dragon in a sign of respect.
And I very purposefully told Palminar to give the dragon our gold. And he put his gold down.
Okay, so Lorien, you do not address the dragon when she asks this, correct?
I just nod at her.
Okay, make a deception roll with your nod.
Oh, fuck.
Right, well,
Oh, no.
never mind.
Please.
What would name the flower smell at that point?
The dragon starts to paw its way closer to Lorien and begins to sniff her up and down.
I don't know if I trust you filthy bastards. You shall pass.
The dragon does not smell your gold, Lorien, because it is in the bag of holding. You're free to go.
Oh, well played.
So, for those of you who don't know out of character, the bag of holding is a small pocket dimension which contains everything from oxygen. It's a vacuum. It's a magical vacuum into another dimension, so the scent does not even escape the bag of holding. Well played, Lorien. You're all
Thank
free
you.
to continue east. The horses that are still there, the 4 of them are still there.
When I sit
can
on the horse
continue.
with Jinjo, I tell him in Orcish, you know, at least we all fit on our horses now.
Savage.
And I'll say back, well, at least I'm the only token orc now. And then we ride.
Okay, so you ride another 4 hours, 5 hours through rough terrain, and the glimpse of dawn's light starts to approach. Let me start moving some of the tokens to the next.
Can we talk while
area.
we're doing this?
Absolutely, yeah. You can do some talking while I make some tokens here.
So, sorry I just didn't want to let those horses die. I couldn't let them just be eaten by that dragon.
I'm glad you managed to save them. I wish that we could have saved our companions. Lorien is just kind of like having random crying jags and sobbing and then just suddenly just going like dead silent and not making any noise at all, just sitting really stiffly in the saddle.
I turned towards, not yours, but I turned towards the rest of the party now. So did you know them for long? Just anyone. I'm guessing you'll have the answer, Laura. Yeah.
I didn't know Kath for very long. Vivel I knew for a little bit longer. I did know Vivel for yeah, because Vivel. When did Vivel join us, Steve?
He joined right after you saved Gryold from the lycanthropes.
Oh, he did. Oh, wait. Who was? God, I think you know what, Steve. I think I have. Do I have 2 campaigns mixed up? Anyway.
Probably.
Yeah,
you're in a couple.
I think I have 2 campaigns mixed up. Anyway, yeah, I not long, but they fought well, and they did their best. And Kath came in a little earlier. Kath came in at the library, right?
Yes, a little before that. Kath was there right after you slayed the young red dragon.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Not long, not long. So many pointless fucking deaths. I don't know why they would do such a stupid thing. But they didn't
Sorry.
deserve that.
Sorry for your loss, but they were foolish to attack that thing.
Well,
I'm going
Yes.
to say that sometimes orcs have to fight for their honor, so I understand why he did it. But I also agree that might not have been the best time.
Foolish orcs.
it's not that I disagree with the sentiment that they had. I wish we could destroy that foul thing too, but it's just too massive.
Big black thing.
So, you all ride for the next couple hours through swamp and avoid all manner of undead. You see some will-o-wisps in the distance which you all recognize, but you're smart enough to stay away from them, thankfully. Many new travelers approach will-o-wisps with a sense of curiosity, but you all warned Joseph, who was unfamiliar with them, that they are quite dangerous. It can lure you in and kill you in the darkness. You all make your way past many grassy mounds once you make your way past the swamp. These mounds go on for what seems like miles, and there are tombs, many of them, mostly of fallen paladins, fallen after achieving great quests, or some of them failing during their great quests. You eventually make your way to the Great Pine, which is unmistakable. It stands approximately 150 feet above everything else. And at the base of this pine is the tomb of which the dragon told you about. The tomb of which you know to house Golazar the Risen and his 7 Deathlocks. You don't necessarily know why he's doing what he's doing, but you know that this is the rift. Beyond these walls is the rift of the negative plane. You're going here to stop what he's doing. You're going here to potentially find the Orb of the Dragonkind if you choose to help this black dragon, who spared your life. You know very well that if you do not help this black dragon, it may hunt you down, because black dragons do not stop. They are spiteful. Before you see stone steps on left and right going upward, you see sturdy stone doors with reinforced metal. You do recall that the dragon said the walls and the masonry are magically reinforced, so something like a druidic meld stone spell cannot simply open up the wall. You also see small slits in the walls that are used for archers, but you know this place is long forgotten and derelict. And you see a strange hole between the 2 sets of doors on the stone wall in front of you. You can all drag your tokens on here. See here.
I'd like to go to the stairs and give it an overall check for danger and get my lantern revealing out and
Excellent.
zhuzh it about in the
Very
area.
good. Very good. So I will say that it is just leaving night. You're almost at dawn, so those of you who have dark sight can see just fine. Those of you who do not have dark sight can just barely see a little as the morning light is coming over the hills and these knolls, as they're called the grassy knolls. Make a perception roll. I guess all 4 of you, but especially the 2 of you up front there. Okay.
Perception.
Lorian with a 12, Joseph with an 11.
Plus, 11.
Sorry.
No, you're good. We'll start off nice and fresh next time, but let's do a little bit of this investigation. I need to, oh, Jinyo, yeah, you need to do yours, Jinyo, still, and yours was an 11,
A
Fred?
perception check.
I got
Perception.
11, yeah.
Okay.
7.
Okay. So, Jinyo, you approach first, and even with a 7, you see that underneath this strange opening in the stone here are several limbs. Some of them are just skeletal arms. Some of them are the bones of a hand and only a hand. Some of them are the broken forearms of the tibia. But you see many different broken arms and hands, specifically the bones and the rotting flesh of those. Joseph, even with an 11, you know that this is some sort of trap or some sort of door handle, some way to enter.
May I inspect it further?
You may.
Can I see if it's anything magical about it?
Fred, you may do that. Go up and make an Arcana roll.
18.
An 18. Okay, one moment here.
Do we actually go all the way in then, or can I do it from a distance, or do I have to get close?
You see that with an 18, that just about all of the masonry, the doors, even the steps, everything is magically reinforced so that you cannot simply use a hammer to break through or magic to transmute the stone, for example. So all you can gather is that you believe that, because you're an expert artificer, I'll say that out of character, those of you who don't know that in character yet, you know as an artificer and an enchanter that this stuff has been enchanted with some very powerful magic. That is all you know from it. But you think that everything within is some pretty advanced mechanical technology inside this hole. Joseph, you got make an investigation, Joseph. Now that you're moving closer.
Oh shit. I convey some of the stuff I noticed to him while he's passing by.
25, excellent. Joseph, you know that this is some sort of contraption that something must be entered in order to open the door, but you also know that whatever enters is going to be mauled, slashed, with a great amount of force, with very powerful blades. This is a trap that cannot merely be disarmed. It's something that you can try to disarm, but you don't believe that you're able to with just about any tool that you have on you, including your thieves' tools.
So, look, wait, I saw all the arms, yeah?
Correct.
I will go to Yvonne.
Mm-hmm.
She has a metal arm.
She
And
does
I
have a
will-
metal arm.
I will say to her quietly, it seems that this construction, this lock, requires a hand to be put in there and do something in there, but in doing that, the arm will be either very damaged or completely severed. So, as the only person here, respectfully, who has a metal arm, would you be okay with trying to open it, please?
Wait.
Go on.
Lorian. Okay. Is this... Yeah, I guess my token wasn't here. Sorry about that. Why don't I try with Mage Hand first? I can't have Mage Hand get severed. And she kind of needs that.
You see Yvonne nod toward Lorian, and you also, Jinyo and Fred, please make a perception roll while she does this thing with Mage Hand.
That's a good thing.
17.
17.
No,
So Fred, you notice, just kind of out of nowhere, that you realize that this woman named Yvonne, you notice Joseph say her name once or twice, that she never actually has said a word verbally once since you've been with her for hours and hours. Go ahead, Lorian. What would you like to do?
I am going to cast my Mage Hand cantrip.
Okay, are you casting it inside? Are you casting it outside? Are you moving it from the outside inside? Tell me exactly what you're doing with Mage Hand.
Okay, so I'm sorry. Joseph told us that we had to do what exactly?
Reach in, and he believes that there is a handle that needs to be rotated. He's not sure whether it needs to be rotated clockwise or counterclockwise, but it has to be rotated with a great force.
With great force?
As if to reach a hand in there to grasp the lever, or grasp the handle and rotate the handle. He doesn't know which way, however.
I am going to try Widdershins.
What?
You don't know what Widdershins
Mm-mm.
is?
I must have missed that memo.
Oh, it's counterclockwise.
Got it.
So I'm going to cast Mage Hand so that the hand is inside of the hole already.
So when you do that, before it can even rotate, blades slash through the hand, making it vanish because it cannot take damage. You see at least 4 blades from 4 different sides. of a diamond shape slashed through it.
So can we see? Can I see through to the other side at all?
You cannot. You can only see through metal and stone this
Is there
handle.
anything
How
that
far in
looks
is
like
it?
it fits in there?
What?
It looks like big enough for a hand and a forearm of a medium-sized humanoid. And
How
as that
deep is in
happens,
this,
Lorian, make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay. Oh wait, that's not a saving throw. I'm sorry. Oh,
That's actually fine enough, but you see this scamper out and lunge at you. It is scampering at you, as if threateningly.
okay. Can I cast? Do I need to cast? Do we need to roll initiative?
Not necessarily. This is something that I'm gonna see what you do. It's scampering toward you.
I'm going
I do
to
something?
cast Mage Hand cantrip again, and try and pick that thing up by the wrist with my Mage Hand.
I will have you make a dexterity roll for the mage hand. So roll dexterity.
God damn it!
It slips through the mage hand and it continues to scamper toward you. I will let the two who are next to you make a
Can I do
move.
something?
Go ahead.
Can I punch it?
Go ahead. Make an attack roll. Unarmed
the
attack
I'm
roll.
doing it with my gauntlets.
That's fine,
My
do it.
gauntlet lights up a little bit.
Do it.
That is a 27 to hit.
Oh my gosh. Is that with thunderous damage or what was it?
In my thunder gauntlet, yeah. But it doesn't do that much damage.
But it's thunder, right?
Yeah.
So I'll say out of character, this thing has 2 hit points. This thing gets immediately blasted against the
Like
stone
10
wall
damage.
and just crumples. You hear the bones shatter in this undead hand as it smashes against the wall and it is subdued. It is dead. Undead dead. You perceive that this hand that
I'll
must
look
have been
towards L'Oreal
severed.
with a small smile.
You perceive that this hand that was severed by this lever trap has become undead since its severing. Also known as the crawling claw. Yvonne starts to reluctantly make her way forward. Joseph, make a perception roll
Fuck.
on
I was
your request. A 6.
I was wanting
seems-
to say something, but okay.
She seems fearful. She's not sure if she wants to do it, but she appears to be interested, regardless
Wait.
of your poor persuasion. Sorry, I meant to say persuasion. Make a persuasion roll. I keep saying the wrong word here. Too many beers and a couple ales in here. Oh, okay.
That's
another
perception also.
Do persuasion, my man. Come on.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Persuasion.
12 is good enough. She
I was going
reluctantly.
I was going to say wait
Uh-huh.
before she does that.
Okay, and what would you like to do?
Well, we can first. You don't have to go there. If you can, we can take that arm off. But I can say this: if this prosthetic gets destroyed or severely damaged, I will try my best to find you a new, better one.
She nods. And she smiles. And you can see, Fred in particular, you can see that this prosthetic, this iron prosthetic, is very rudimentary. It is forged to look like basically a hand, but the fingers do not flex, they do not move, and the thumb is in a stiff formation. It can only do very rudimentary grasps with this forged iron hand.
Can I ask?
You
I
also
raise my
talked
eye a
over
bit,
Chris.
did?
I look at it.
I'm sorry,
a little
go
bit. No, don't worry. No, I look at the thing and I raise my eyebrow but I show a little bit of the status of how poorly made it is.
So, wait, does
Can
she-
I ask why she doesn't talk? I know now it's not the most appropriate time, but
She doesn't have a tongue, darling.
oh, okay, cool. Why?
So wait, do we remove her prosthetic?
That's her story to tell, but not right now.
Okay.
Does she remove the prosthetic so maybe I can go and do the thing so she doesn't have to be there, or does
Well,
she do it
you
herself?
you already know from traveling with her that the grasp does not work unless she's wearing it. It actually is it functions through. It kind of straps around her shoulder blades, and she's very adept at using her shoulder blades to enact the grasp. It's very rudimentary and very mechanical. It's not magical in any way.
I'm going to just in case stay just close if something would happen.
Very well.
I could help her.
Very well. She reluctantly and slowly reaches in and as she grasps the handle, the blades clamp down on her metal arm, chopping into the iron, but not severing the iron. She grasps the, Joseph's close enough to see, she grasps the handle and rotates it approximately 180 degrees clockwise, and then pulls outward with all of her might, and she's struggling, and she can't pull it out all the way. She motions to Joseph for assistance in pulling a little harder. Make a strength roll, yeah. You easily pull this out with approximately 45 pounds of force, and it opens the following 2 doors. While she's holding it, she has to hold it like that for the doors to remain open. She's able to hold it on her own.
How is the hand? Like, is it just held? Is it just held down by like literal weight?
She's
Like the
she's able to let it go, but she must hold this handle with the force and the rotation in order to keep these doors open. Joseph
Is there
sees
any
this
way
very
that
easily as an expert. Sorry?
Like we have to actually let it be there. We can't use detached arm. She actually has
there any way
to
I
fight
can-
against it as well, right?
Is there any way we can prop it open?
So I would say that Fred is an expert in the prosthetic aspect of it, and Joseph's an expert in the trap and mechanics of the handle aspect. So Fred can make an investigation or an intelligence. He can choose as far as like how the prosthetic can be
It's
somehow manipulated.
only 16.
Well, with a 16, you know even so that now that she's already grasping it and has the doors open, there's a way to remove the prosthetic if you can find a way to keep the prosthetic in place, that she doesn't have to hold the doors open for you, and she can also follow you in. It depends on whether or not you want to do that and how you want to go about it. And what was your question, Jinyo?
Is there any way we can like weigh the arm down so the mechanism doesn't spin back?
You think that if you were to tie weights upon the arm, it would prevent it from getting pulled back in and having the lever pull back in, the handle back in. So if you can find a way to do that, go ahead.
Can I look around for some stones and heavy?
There's plenty of stones here, and you have rope. You have, I think, a 50-foot silken rope.
Can I try and use the rope and some stones to make a device that will hold it open so she can detach the arm?
You can make an intelligence roll with advantage because you have people that are helping you.
So I click advantage at the
Just
top.
do it 2 times.
and
It'll
then-
be easier. Just do it 2. You can just click 2 times intelligence.
Okay, normal intelligence.
Yeah.
You can click that
20.
Oh yeah, 20. So you see that Yvonne is agreeable. She lets you remove her prosthetic and keep the handle in place. She does so, and with a little bit of rope work and some rocks, if you remove the rope from your inventory, you now have that arm in place, and the doors remain open.
The 50-foot silk rope.
No. Well,
Do I have to? Would I use all of that 50 foot, or could I use half of it?
You can cut it down to like 40 feet. You only need about 10 feet of it.
So I'd
I
change
can-
to 40 foot. Then.
Yeah. So let me reveal what you've opened up now. That's what I love about Roll20 is you can reveal things as you go. So let me do that for you now. One moment. Revealing. Give
What
me
do we
one
do with
moment.
the horses?
Just gonna tie the horses up.
Lorraine is.
They're like a little room. What is this here?
That
I'm
looks
still
like a
revealing
stable,
one
not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's like a little overhang which could protect from the necrotic storms, for example.
Yeah, we should put the horses in there.
There's an area here that is not fully explored yet, but everything else you can see as you enter quite easily.
All right. Well, on my way in, I stopped by Yvonne. Was her name, right?
Yvonne, yeah.
And I thought, I could make you a new, better arm at some point, but it could take some time.
Shows great interest in her expression.
I'm gonna make sure that. Well, I'm probably gonna tell Falminar to help me, and we're gonna put the horses in here.
He does so swiftly. I'll take care of that.
I'll assist with the horses.
Would this be a good time to maybe
I think it's a fair spot. I think we got a lot done, and there's
This
a lot
is
more to be
This is
had.
where I was going to say stop. Well, now we know we can get in
yeah.
there
Yeah.
because we can we. I've got a tent, so for ease, can we set up a tent somewhere safe and rest, and then we can make her a new arm as well.
Yes, you can make an 8-hour
Oh, that
rest.
may take longer than the rest.
I will let you guys choose who wants to do night watch next time, so we can kind of do the rest next time and see how that goes. Who rests, who does watch, and things like that.
Oh, we're taking a long rest here?
You do whatever you guys want. Anything you guys want.
Damn.
Well, if we take a long rest, so I don't know how much of this is metagaming or not, but out of character, if we go in and she's got one arm, she's going to be less effective in combat when we have to fight this next.
I don't have materials to make an arm, I don't think.
You don't need them, do you? You're
Unless-
a tinkerer, you just have stuff, right? That's just how it works.
I don't know if I
Just
have
stuff.
more stuff in my inventory than we made yet. Because I used to make my character. I don't know what I have, if I have stuff to make things. I would not assume that. Like, I believe it's kind of hard to make an arm that good.
I don't know. I mean, I'm
Either way,
not
I think this is a good spot, and I think that's a good discussion that we can have before the rest. So that way, next time we can discuss how we want to do the rest, who wants to be on watch, what we want to do during the rest. Some of you might want to like focus on a certain skill or something, and choose your spell slots and whatnot. But if you guys are sure you want to do a long rest, that way you guys have time to fill up your spell slots and prepare your spells between sessions, at least. You guys want to do that?
Yeah, I think a long rest is
Let's
good.
just
We-
do a rest.
It's
Alright,
a risky
and
spot to do that.
it is-
like,
it is a
right
risky
outside
spot.
of the enemy. Yeah.
Let's
Can we
go
get
like
to a spot where
six.
it's not that risky?
We can be
Well,
with
you
the
know-
horse.
you
With
know
the
that this
arm,
whole-
with the door left open, that feels like a bad idea.
So we can make a decision next time, I guess, and then we can
Yeah.
do spell preparation, I guess, next time.